So I'll be taking us through the installation of XAMPP, which gives you the environment of a local host. Okay. So to install XAMPP, you first need to download it to your laptop. Of course, I've shown us the website earlier that you can download it from. But just in case you are just joining. So the first thing is you go to XAMPP. You can just enter to Google, type XAMPP download. Okay. And you enter. XAMPP can work whether you are working with Windows or OS. So if you're working with a Windows operating system, this is the different versions of XAMPP that you can work with. But I always recommend you work with the latest version, except if you have the need to use a lower version. Then I recommend you go with the latest version. Okay. So you see, these are the Windows. This is for Linux. This is for OS, for Mac. Okay, so you can install for any of these, but in this case we're going to be downloading for Windows. So you click on this download button, and then once it's downloaded, you go to your download folder, which is where we are now, and you click on XAMPP. But don't just run it by clicking double click. Okay, the best approach to running it is to right click and run as an administrator. Okay, you right click it and you run it as an administrator. Okay, so it's running now. So now if you look at this, it says that because an activated user account control on your system, some functions of XAMPP are possibly restricted. So with UAC, please avoid to install XAMPP too. So we need to avoid installing it into the normal local disk program files folder. Okay, so let's move on. Just click on next. So that instruction we saw earlier, you have to modify the source folder here. So the installation directory has to be changed. I will be installing it to documents. So if I need to install it to documents, then I'll just go to documents from here and I'll create a new folder. Okay, so in my own case I named the folder web. So I'll go back here and then refresh. Let me check for the folder web. So this is the folder web. I'll select it and then click on next, then it runs. Okay, so while the installation is running, since you know the essence of this is to install WordPress on the XAMPP, you can begin to prepare your WordPress files. And what exactly do I mean by that? You know, we had earlier visited WordPress.org to download WordPress. So this is where you come to, then you click on Get WordPress. When you click on Get WordPress, you download the WordPress software. So usually it will come in zipped folder, and if it comes in zipped folder, you would need to have, of course, if you are using Windows 8, it might be easier, Windows 10 rather, it might be easier to just extract it right away. Even in some cases, you might need to have a software to extract the folder. Okay, so 7-zip is a free software you can make use of, and then in some other cases you can make use of WinRAR to unzip the file, the folder. So in this case, I'm going to go right away to unzip the folder of the WordPress I have downloaded. This is it. So I'll just use WinRAR to extract. Okay, so the extraction was completed and then the folder is there, right? This is the folder that was extracted. Then I can cut it and go and paste it in the web folder. But don't forget, this is still installing. So we will just wait for the installation to be completed before we copy folder into the right place. Okay, so get a popcorn and chill. Okay, so this installation is almost completed now. Okay, so the installation is completed now, and it's saying, do you want to start the control panel now? Yes. So we click on finish. Check that. So the panel should come up. Okay, so here is the control panel coming up. So when this happens, you can click on start to run the Apache. Okay, so we also run the MySQL. Start it. They both are running now. Okay, so you saw me as I just launched the Apache and the MySQL, and both are running now. Okay, so we can go to the installation folder by clicking on Explorer, and that's where we're going to paste our WordPress file, but not just anywhere. So you open the htdocs folder, and then this is where you paste WordPress. Okay, remember I had copied it earlier, so this is the WordPress files that we extracted. So the next thing you do is to rename this to be the name, to be your domain name. Okay, so I'll call this Jasper no code.com. Okay, so I call this jaspernoCode.com. Then the next thing I'll do is to come here and enter localhosts. Localhosts. So let me just enter localhost alone. You see where it's leading me to? Fine. So one of the reasons why we came here is because we want to install the WordPress now. So to do that, you need to type localhost slash the domain name of the name of the folder. That is to say, what you rename the folder for WordPress as. In my own case, is jaspernoCode.com. Okay, because it's loading for the first time, it might take some seconds. Okay, but it's fine. Okay, so you click on continue, and here now you see the first item requested is the database name, but we have not set. We need to set up the database to use for this. So to set up database, just enter localhost and then click on phpMyAdmin. That's one way to get into your database. Another way to get into it is to, in front of this MySQL, you click on admin. So when you click on that, it will still take you to, can you see, localhost slash phpMyAdmin. So it's the same thing. Whether you click on this place or you click on the admin dash in front of the MySQL, you click on the admin button. Both will lead you to the phpMyAdmin dashboard, and here you can create a new database. So the new database, I'll just call it no code. Okay, and then create. So the database is created already now, so we can come back and do the configuration for the WordPress setup. So you click next. So the database name will be what? No code. Now for username, you use root. You use root as the username, and this is to give administrative access to the database. Okay. So for password, you can leave it as it is now. Let localhost leave the remaining things. Just enter the database name and the username. Then you click on submit. Okay. And with this, you can run the installation. Fine. Now, so here you can enter the details of your website. What should be my website title? I'm calling it Jasper No Code. Okay. My own username. I would want to use Martins, and my password. I would love to use my password as my password. So you can enter your own password too. So then you can enter your email, and then after this you can install WordPress. So I just click on install WordPress now. Okay, so it's installed already. So I'll just click on login. Then I'll log in to access my dashboard. Okay, good. So if you were part of our last class when we were actually exploring the WordPress.com platform, this dashboard would not be strange to you. Where you see things like posts, media, pages, comments, appearance, plugins, users, tools, settings, and so on. So this will not be strange to you, right? So from here, I would expect you to take the next steps by creating posts, creating pages, customizing your appearance, and then adding necessary plugins. And in the next video, we're going to delve deeper into how to use all of these things to come up with a suitable website at the end of the day. Thank you for paying rapt attention. I believe you have learned something. So I'll see you in my next video.